Good morning, everybody. And I would like to give a presentation on international business negotiation. And I was chosen as a topic of individual presentation on essential negotiation components. Here, coming to, we can see the table of contents here. There, I was just to call some points like introduction, role of culture in negotiation, and models and theories, and useful integrative framework of the negotiation strategy, implementations of integrative negotiation models, and outcomes after the implementation model, and conclusion reference list. Here come to the introduction. I will just highlighted some point here, like it the introduction part. We can say like a negotiation is just a strategy of a business approach which resolves the various problems, and the both parties can be in negotiation procedure. Usually there is a two parties should be involved, like one company and company B. They should be involved to negotiation, they to work on the at the end of the time they should be parties should be verified. And with the negotiation theories, and we can see the frameworks and the culture types and this impact of the various situations as well. And it's described like effectively its presentation will be given evaluated the various theories and related to the principles as well, and negotiation in the relation to be globalized context. And here we can see the role of culture in negotiation. This approach we can see by most effective deal with the achievements like business firms and activities. The approach they can approach with the partnership with other the business firms, like the stakeholders. With the stakeholders perception is called as a is known as the negotiation. In I was just took highlighted that Hofstede's cultural dimensions is it's he was just saying about the power of the distance factors, highlighting the power concentrations of these at the high business level risk, and which cannot be seen from the outside. We can't see from the outside of the business, we can see in the inside of the business, like the procedure and goals and achievements, like etc. And here we can see there is example. I can take an example like Russia. There is a powers difference between the executives and higher authorities as well. Like executives and the government people, the government officials, they can negotiate in a one conclusion, and they develop the common policy which will help to benefit of the both parties, and end of the day they can get as a the positive attitude as well, positive entities. And coming to the third slide, it should be like role of culture in negotiation. Herely I was just highlighted the two topics, two names like individualism and collectivism. It's just focusing on independence and the freedoms of the people in the organization and in the working environment as well. And this here we can see there is an example like look, the Asian countries, the most of the people they can work in collaborative purpose in a way as the UK, like individualistic culture in a collaborative ways. In India we can take example, in UK there is the individualism and there is a freedoms of them to do work, and they was just development or they prioritized. And in the western working culture as well, like it just focusing on the group choices. And coming to the role of culture in negotiation, here we can see there is a role. We can see like masculinity and femininity. There is a gender discrimination, there is a gender discrimination discomforts, and they can available for the decision making, how they were doing the highlighting the working environment. And here we can see like the masculinity and the femininity. We can see the factor highlighting the masculinity culture is more defensive like assertive, and the feminine culture as well. And here I can take some countries like America and the UK as well, and it implements the work culture where they are less like concerned with the implement of work. They can culture less work concerned with the uncertainty aspect. They ensure that negotiation considering with the risk element. Like however, like India and the China avoid the uncertainty, and while they aspecting with the negotiation factors and maintaining the disclosure, making the final terms. When they are taking the final term, they just listen all the like thinking habits and their decisions as well. Then they can helpful to get the nice and proper decision to get out the business activities. Here we can see the negotiation models. Coming to negotiation models and theories, we can see there is a distributive model. It's just highlighting the negotiation part, There is the strategies as well, and this is one is also called distributive model. We can see there is a zero sum model, and we can use to call it a zero sum model. This model is claims the certain things and strategies as well, and it enhances to get the approach that party will gather the more informative and more information about the other with influence of the other people work behavior, and we can concentrate on the other parties. And here we can see there is example as well, like Sainsbury. I can take the Sainsbury for failure to acquire the Asda. The CMA of the UK has voted against the merger. Here, the Sainsbury has lost the negotiation procedure, and the CMA won. And CMA1. Here we can see the integrative model. This strategies model is highlighting about the fact of both the negotiation procedure, and here we can see there is a developing between here we can see as well, integrative approach the parties involve the negotiation between the two parties and the two companies as well. Here I can see the example like Tesco. There are the negotiation about the presentation topics on the stakeholders different between. They must combine they talking to each other, and they should be bargain to talk with each other, and they taking some points and they create the integrative solution. They can combine, they come to take the integrative part of the solution as well. And herely we can see the log rolling is when they were participating on the between the getting of the providing solutions. Here we can see their own demands. For example, like lorelling is that the Tesco employees have been significant the challenging zone in terms of the management, like a post-pandemic UK, and there is a mainly issues double pay, and they should be work on the Sundays. It's been like cause it's individual pressure on them, and here the organization had aimed to hear the employees to reduce the work pressure, and they were employing get the having give up more demand on double pay on Sundays as well. And I can choose here the negotiation models like a mixed model theories. Here there is the mixed model is employees we can strategy the way approach related to both and distributive integrative. It's just a mixed motive. And herely just in order here we can see they agree on a common negotiation strategy of the both the parties, and they need to shift a little towards one side, and then they can manage the little things like even they can get the possibilities for to understand the development. And as I mentioned like earlier, mixed motive approach is often uses the principles like both the distribution and integrated negotiation approaches. And here we can see some example. Here I can take some example like Brexit. The mixed motive of the especially there is a two levels. One of the school level throughout the focused on more polishing discourses, and it's demanding the changes in EU regulations, whereas the another focused on stability after the Brexit. We can see the reduce the negative impacts on the people. And negotiation models and theories. Here we can see the game theory. Game theory is the implies that the importance of the negotiation. It just the negotiations of the risk in negotiation game theory. In a game theory, like which can create the issues and disadvantages they do have, and they'd be highlighted on the first move, and they was taken in the negotiation approach that was creates in advantages, and it's just a providing of the facilities of review negotiation approaches as well. Here we can see the effective manner when we take the decisions making, and it's just a useful use of the integrated framework. Here we can see which helpful for the principles, which helpful for the principle of the more model, and which this model can standard approach the main proper equality among the both parties and help in the developing of the sustainability development. And it just useful for to achieving the both uh, common goals as well. And here we can see evaluated the effectively analyzing the various logical thinkings and cultural logic, and includes effectively they can get the ideas and they can easily analyze, and they get the face and create the impacts on negotiation approach of the both parties. And herely we can see implementation on the basis of the cultural dignity is the self-interest approach. Here we can see there is a kind and a different it's just like self-esteem levels and social hierarchy and lower hierarchy level as well. Here there is we can see this logic in terms as a competitive manner as well, and reputation and honor organization with the family level esteems in a stable of structure. I can be more impactable like compared, and dignity culture is the logical individuals. It's the logic of the individuals depends on their esteem levels as well. Here we can see outcomes. The culture outcomes is the dynamic emphasize the self-esteem levels of the it's just a difference between the cultures collectiveness and how they're developing and how they are maintaining their competitive development and the responsibilities, like the like freedom it the culture of the individuality and how they were thinking, how they were providing the various stages like conductiveness and talking to way like a face cultural knowledge maintenance. Here we can see there is outcomes after the implementation, after the implementation of the culture. We can see here there's a culture and the competitive aspirations. Here we can see the mainly sociological social confirmation sharing the aspects. This approach you can see further enhances the the strategic in a proper way. Coming to the conclusion, in this presentation we can see there here we can see like culture. The presentation has explained that influences. I just took the culture and negotiation processes by highlighting integrative mixed motives, theories, and the game theories. And the assignment is describe the processes which cultivate the place, like crucial rules of the describe the process when they were integrated with the framework. And it just win of win to like it's just a win to win methods. This implemented focus on these parties and gain the proper benefits as well. So this is the final topic of my presentation, and thank you.